Welcome to special lecture series program for undergraduate students, finance and its allied areas, organized by Kolkata Bidhannagar Society for Academic Advancement, West Bengal, India, coordinated by Azure Academic Services, West Bengal, India. Today's topic of discussion is human resource management and overview. Today our guest faculty is Madhurima Bhattacharya ma'am. She is assistant professor of Department of Management, Institute of Hotel and Restaurant Management, Kolkata, West Bengal, India. Over to you ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, KBSSA, for the opportunity. And today, my topic will be human resource management. And as we all know, that human resource is something. Okay, is my presentation visible?
Yes ma'am, presenting. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so can we go to the second slide, please? Okay. So as we know that human resource are the wealth of the nation and an organization. So they are the skills, the human resource in and all human resource are the skills, the knowledge, the creative abilities and the talents which are obtained in a specific population. Next is we can define human resources as the activators of non-human resources for developing competitive advantages and sources of creativity. Okay, now coming to what is human resource and how the term came into operations. That is, first, when understanding human resource, we need to keep one thing in mind, that human resource means how to connect people, organization, and the organization's goals all in all. So overall, that how a workforce in an organization can be managed. So this is a human resource department was basically established for this purpose. Okay, now can we move on to the next slide, please, sir? Okay, according to the American Marketing Association, human resource management, they define human resource management as a field which has to do with the planning, organizing, and controlling various operative functions of procuring, developing, maintaining, and utilizing a workforce in order to so that the objectives for which the company is established are attained as efficiently and as economically as possible. Next is the objectives of all the levels of personnel. Personnel refers to employees are served to the highest degree. Next, the objectives of the community are duly considered as served. So here actually human resource management during the in the past it was considered that when we are employing some people, it is only because to see that the work gets done. But after that, after a few years, it came to it actually came to the fact that not only humans will work for getting a particular job done, but there are some specific requirements too, which are needed to be fulfilled for that particular employees who are working. So that therefore this human resource department, human resource management and came into process. So it is basically here, as the American Marketing Association says, that it is planning, organizing, and controlling various operative functions. So we know in principles of management, there is one thing we follow very much, the basics of management, which is POTSCORP, that is planning, organizing, then we are directing. So this is something which is followed, which is a part of human resource, means human resource management is a part of this process too. So here various operative functions of procuring. Procuring in the human resource refers to that identifying the right set of candidates for a particular job and as well as putting them into the right place. Developing, after we are selecting the candidates, we need to continuously develop them so that they could easily work with the organization, so and they could reach towards the organization's goal, as well as they can maintain and utilize a workforce. We have to maintain and utilize that workforce so that they could work as per the organization's goals, and they could work to their greatest degree so that the objectives of the community are duly considered and served. Next slide, please, sir. Next, we are coming to the fact that how we will define human resource from various levels. Human resource from various levels can be defined as first is social level, functional level, personal level, as we can see in this slide. So social level specifically refers to the legal compliances. Legal compliances meaning that what are the specifically the rules and regulations an employee as well as an employer needs to follow while we are hiring an employee for an organization. Next is union management relations. Union management relations meaning that we need to see that there exists a harmonious relationship between the workers, the employers, and the union to uh, work together in a proper way. Now, coming to the fact that uh, how this human resource management, how this human resource management came in India. So first is the human resource management, the evolution and development of the human resource management in India was not voluntary, because after the Second World War, difficult conditions erupted in India. So malpractices in the recruitment of workers and payment of wages led to a trade union movement. In 1931, on the recommendations of the Royal Commission of Labour, the jobber system was abolished. So after independence, the Factories Act 1948 laid down provisions for the labor officers, the labor welfare, the safety and regulation of working hours and working conditions. And at that time, there were two professional bodies which were emerged. First is the Indian Institute of Personnel Management, Calcutta, and the National Institute of Labour Management, Mumbai. So these were the two institutes which were the guiding force of human resource management then. Okay, so as we know that when we are defining human resource or thinking about human resource, we need to think about different aspects. So after that, from the coming from the societal level, we need to think about the functional level too. As we know, in management sense, when we are talking about the functional thing, so functional specifically refers to that how a department is functioning. What are the various aspects or what are the various features or what are the various components it needs to keep in mind while it is functioning. First is appraisal. So appraisal is a method which is, you can say, an overall evaluation of an employee. How an employee is working throughout a year is specifically focused on appraisal thing. Next is placement. Placement means we nowadays we come to the it is a very common term. So we can say that it is in a exists our colloquial language that what is placement, when where to get placement, how to get placed. So this placement refers to that putting the right candidate or searching for a new candidate for a specific job. Searching for a new candidate for a specific job. Next is assessment. Assessment, there is a very much clear relation between appraisal and assessment. So coming on to assessment, it means that in an overall assessment of an employee, you can say from the behavioral aspect, from the emotional intelligence aspect, or you can say from the professionalism as well as individual aspect. So in all aspect, it can this word assessment actually describes itself. But on the function appraisal level specifically is based on a rating process, that how an employee worked for a particular year is based on a specific rating process. So that is appraisal. And assessment can be a numerical process or can't be a, or it can't be a numerical process too. It is not, means it is, you can say that it is not mandatory that an assessment has to be a numerical, it is has to be a numerical way, but in appraisal it has to be a numerical way. Next, coming to personal level. So when we are thinking of human resource from a personal level, it basically comes on training and development. So training and development are very much interrelated terms which are related for performance growth of an employee. How it is related, we will come to the later part. Next is appraisal and placement as previously discussed. So appraisal and placement is something which is closely related. Next is compensation and assessment. So when it is coming to assessing an employee, so we need to provide compensation, right compensation that which the employee deserves is also very much important. So we are assessing that particular candidate on a very personal level. Personal level refers to personal and professional level. We can say that how that particular employee is working on an organization, how he or she is contributing to the organization's goals, and we will provide a compensation. Compensation refers to, in the human resource language, you can say compensation refers to the bonus, the pension after a long period of serving of an employee, by an employee. Then you can say the gratuity and everything. So that is called compensation and assessment. They are closely related. So next slide, please. Okay. So next is here organizational part. So when it is coming to the organizational part, means from an organization's perspective, how we will think of human resource as a department. From an organization's perspective, we will think of human resource department. First is human resource planning. Next is selection, training, and development. Number three, employee relations. Maintenance of good relations is very much important among the employee so that they could work together as a team, or you can say as a group, as our organizational behavior language says, to work together towards a common goal. And four is appraisal and placement. Number five is assessment. So these are the organizational viewpoints of a these are the organizational viewpoints of a human resource management. So we can see that we have discussed four levels of human resource management, and first was societal, functional, personal, as well as organizational. Now next slide, sir, please. Next is, what is the need for the rise of human resource management in organizations? So as the diagram, we can see that in the diagram there are various perspectives of human resource management which have been represented in a diagrammatic form. That first is employee is there, training is there, recruitment is there, rewarding process is there, business value, then is success, strategic objectives. So this, when we are thinking of human resource management as a whole, the management word itself is a complete process. So management is not in a single moment process. It is a complete process. It involves many people's effort as a whole. So what does human resource management, what is the need for it? First is, it defines the art of managing people in such a manner so that they can give their best to the organization. As we know that when we will motivate people consistently, and when we will hire them, we need to make them work so that we could achieve our organization's goal. Next is supervising human resource in such a way that every day that it should motivate them to change their attitudes to work for the organization. Next is maintaining, number three is maintaining balance between jobs and job seekers, considering job requirements, their abilities and aptitudes. Aptitudes refer to competency of the employees. When we are searching for this word generally comes in, today we use very much, that what is, we need to search for the potential candidate. We need to search for the potential candidate everywhere. So what is potential candidate? Potential candidate means that we need to think about that what the person I'm seeking for in a job, I need to hire that particular person so that they could match his or her competency to my job and get the job done well. So I need to keep that in mind. Next is number four is creating and maintaining a harmonious relationship between the work of an individual and that of the department they are working for. So maintaining a harmonious relationship between the teams, or working as a team, or working as a particular group, whatever it may be, so that the organization could go towards a success, is very much important. So this slide basically represents that how, in how many perspectives we could think of human resource management as a managerial process. So next slide, please. Okay, so next is that what are the examples of human resource management specialties? So when we are saying about that human resource management is a overall complete process. So what are the specialties human resource management specifically focuses on? First is recruiters. We nowadays we very much discuss about LinkedIn, Indeed, then Naukri. These are some of the very much colloquial terms we use, that we are searching jobs for here, there. So these are the commonly used job search applications commonly used in our daily life. So there are recruiters there. So in LinkedIn, there is a particular recruiter, or in Indeed, there is a particular recruiter who is searching for the potential candidates for his or her organization's vacancy. So recruiters means, recruiters, one of the specialties is are the recruiters who are searching for qualified job applicants. Next is human resource development specialists. So who are they? Human resource development specialist means they manage the employee development activities in the integrated manner. So previously there was hardly any human resource department in an organization who could actually think of the people who are working for. But after the development of the scientific management, we can see that there was a development in which human resource was considered as a different, you can say as a different department, which should work only for the people's sake. Okay, next is job analysts. So job analysts, the main functions of a job analyst are to collect and examine the information about the jobs to prepare job descriptions. So when I am preparing a job description, maybe I will be posting it on LinkedIn or on Indeed. My job description should be so much specific that it should target towards my potential candidates. My potential candidates should understand my job description, that what I am actually searching for an organization, or my organization rather. So I need to be a good job analyst, and their work is to take useful data from the organization, analyze it, and then to create a job description which could essentially fulfill the organization's need. Next is compensation managers. So who are the compensation managers? This compensation manager describes these people develop a compensation plans and handle the employee benefits program. When an employee is serving your organization, let's say for 4 years or 5 years or 10 years, you actually need to provide them some benefits so that they could um, do more for your organization. So, pension, gratuity, then bonus, some allowances, these are all the examples of compensation managers. So these are the examples of compensation managers who specifically see that what are the benefits that could be provided to a particular employee so that he or she gets motivated to do more for the organization. Last but not the least is training specialists. So what are the training specialists doing? They plan, organize, and direct the training activities. They plan, organize, and direct the training activities. Nowadays, maybe it can be in a hospital, it can be in a you can say IT firm. Everywhere there is a specific HR department, and there are training specialists who are handling each and every training development programs monthly, yearly, or you can say weekly for the employees' benefit. So there are different training specialists working in the HR department so that they could collect information and analyze that which department needs more training and which department needs a training which could which could develop the skills of the employees, how the employee could develop their skills for the benefit of the organization. Okay, in next slide we will go to the human resource planning. So next slide please. Okay, now next come to human resource planning. So human resource planning is also known as workforce planning, which identifies the requirement of the individuals. So which identifies the requirement of the individuals. So next is E.W. Better was one of them who defined who defines human resource planning as a process by which an organization should move from its current manpower position to the desired manpower position. So next is to establish and maintain a proper organizational structure of relationship among all members that results to division of organization's tasks into functions, positions, and jobs for defining responsibility, accountability, authority for each job in relation to other jobs in the organization. So basically, when it comes to human resource planning, there comes a factor which is working in our mind that when I'm hiring two or more persons for a specific department, how I will make them work for my department. So there comes the human resource planning process. So human resource planning process means, as we previously discussed, a few concept means a small amount of concept of the terms of training and development, which describes that we are giving rigorous trainings to to a particular employee so that they could go on and perform a particular work. So here also E.W. Vetter described human resource planning as a process in which an organization is moving from its current manpower position to the desired manpower position. So this is only possible through adequate trainings and skill development of the employee. And it also helps, human resource planning also helps to develop a proper organizational structure of relationship. Now, as we know, organizational structure, there are various types of organizational structure. We know principles of management. As principles of management describes us that there are various types of organizational structure, which defines that what are the job responsibilities, what are the job titles that are assigned to a company. First is there will be divisional organizational structure in which the activities will be you can say divided into groups, into geographical locations, or into markets. Then there will be centralized organizational structure in which the decisions will be made only by a specific manager. You can say that high level managers, and there will be a distributed down to the chain of command. There will be a specific chain of command. Then will be hierarchical organizational structure, and where employees are grouped and assigned to a specific supervisor. So these are the types of organizational structure as principles management says. Now, when one person is working for marketing, that person cannot work efficiently for human resource. Or when one person is working on accounting or finance, that person cannot focus on human resource department or on marketing department. So we need to have a specific organizational head, or we need to have a specific head, or under whom there will be many employees who will be working, and there can be one supervisor or two supervisors as per the organization's criteria, and under whom there will be several people who are working, and they will report to those supervisors as per the organization's requirement. Now, so, as the point number 2 says, that to establish and maintain a proper organizational structure of relationship among all members that results to division of organization's tasks into functions, positions, and jobs for defining responsibility, accountability, authority for each job in relation to other jobs in the organization. So we need to find that how the responsibility, accountability, authority is divided among each jobs in the organization. Point number 3 focuses on increasing employee engagement that is essential for a company's success. If a company has the best employees and the best practices in place, it can mean the difference between sluggishness and productivity. So here are two important terms which are basically which focuses on a company, or which focuses on a management, or you can say which focuses on an organization's workforce. So you can say that what does this two term means, that what is sluggishness and what is productivity. So sluggishness means that basically you can focus on that you being an employee, how fast you can do the work, but how much time you're taking to complete the work. And productivity means how you are contributing to the organization's goals. So sluggishness means basically that the employee is taking a longer period of time than what it is actually needed. And productivity means that how they are contributing to the company's goals, or how productive they are, how worthy they are to work for the organization. So it is one of the most two important terms in management when it comes to human resource management too. Okay, next, going to the next slide. So next slide, please. Next is human resource planning. What are the features of human resource planning? So human resource planning is a forward-looking process. How it is a forward-looking process? I am recruiting some people, and next I want that for some my department has a division of work, and I need to hire another qualified people for another job to be done. So therefore, I am thinking about the future, so that I'm doing, maybe suppose I'm doing a project. I am a project manager and I'm doing a project. I'm working on a project. So when I'm working on a project, I am hiring a person who has definite IT skills. But I can see that not only IT will help us to work for, not only IT will help me to achieve my project goal, but also I need a proper marketing person who can help me, who can assist me to market my products and services which I am using for my project. So therefore, as per my definite plan, as per my plan, and as per the my you can say that as I am working with the human resource management, in conversation with the human resource management, or in collaboration with the human resource management, I am taking it as a forward looking process and I'm planning to hire a marketing manager too for my project. Next is talent acquisition and recruitment. What is talent acquisition and recruitment? Talent acquisition means acquiring the right talent for the right job. And recruitment, this process of recruitment also focuses on that we are searching for the potential candidates. As we have previously discussed, that there are recruiters who are searching for potential candidates, you can say through various websites or visiting various college campuses. So that is talent acquisition and recruitment. Next is the number three is a follow-up process, you can say, of the second part, second feature, that is talent management. So what is talent management? When I have already hired a specific person for a specific job, now I need to manage the talent, manage the talent in the sense so that they could work properly, creating a proper work environment, as well as developing them, their skills, and utilizing their skills properly so that they could contribute to my organization. Number four is training and development. Training and development is a very important part of human resource planning. Number five is workforce analysis. Workforce analysis meaning that we need to have definite idea regarding that how my workforce is working for my organization, how they are useful to the organization. I need to focus on that. Number six is workforce optimization. Optimization refers to that how well I am utilizing them, how well I am utilizing their skills for the purpose of my organization. So next slide, please. Okay. So next is this is a diagram which is showing that how the process of human resource planning has revolutionized, you can say. First is in the before 1900, human resource planning was uh, particularly considered as a science. So, by many of the dignitaries, one of them was Mr. Robert Owen, and Mr. Robert Owen specifically focused on better industrial relations, improved working conditions, and elimination of child labor. There were also several other dignitaries who focused on this particular point of human resource planning as a science. They were J.S. Mill and Andrew Yule. So they promoted techniques like wage incentives and labor welfare. So basically, they focused on that we human resource planning also is a process which in which involves keeping data analysis and statistical methods to make more informed decisions. So therefore, human resource planning before 1900 was considered as a science. Then from the time period of 1900 to 1920, it was considered as this human resource planning came into the efficiency and productivity phase. So what does this efficiency and productivity phase entails about human resource planning? F.W. Taylor's scientific management specifically focused on this efficiency and productivity part of human resource planning. So what were the changes in this period? First is growth of larger organizations. Next is scientific job analysis, cost standards, and improved worker selection and training. So the main aim was in this era from 1900 to 1920, in this era, the main focus was it helped to attain a mental shift in the work attitudes. It helped to attain a mental shift in the work attitudes. So people were, means from the science part, we also focused, there was a change and we focus now on the efficiency and the productivity part. So in the next 1920 to 1930, in that particular time period, human resource management took shape with the establishment of staff line organizations. In this phase, many workers um, opposed, opposed a rise in the concept leading to industrial psychology. So basically, in the previous phases, we can see that there were many people who were focusing on human resource as a science and all. But in this phase, it came that not only human resource will be considered as a scientific process, but also we need to think about it as a we need to also focus on the psychological process perspective of human resource. So therefore, in this phase, industrial psychologists introduced few techniques which we commonly use nowadays in human resource department. What? What are those? First is psychological testing. Next is interviews, workers training, non-financial incentives. So basically, these are the various phases we all that focused means that was focused on this particular phase. Next is after 1950, that is the modern era. The modern era focused the workers' rights. The modern era specifically focused human resource planning in the modern era focused on the workers' rights. That is industrial democracy. The term industrial democracy means that how the workers and management both share responsibilities for making business decisions. So how the workers can present themselves. During this phase, in this modern era phase, human resource management acted as a concept which gained widespread acceptance. So people slowly started to accept human resource management as a process. Next is after 1970, it was the planning, human resource planning. This process focused on to a behavioral science and open systems phase. This evolved into a concept of behavioral science. Behavioral science specifically means that what are the human elements and organization behavior. So as we can see through this diagram that there is a transformation of the concept of human resource planning from a science to the concept of psychology, science, as well as to the uh, as well as to the industry as a whole when it comes to workers. Okay, next slide, please, sir. Okay, next is methodical approach of human resource planning. Methodical approach of human resource planning focuses on analyzing the environment, that is identifying the internal and the external threats and opportunities. So when it comes to how human resource department, how they are working for, what they are working for, and why they are working for, that is very much important. So we need to, when they are analyzing the environment, it means that we need to identify the internal and the external threats and opportunities also. Next is predicting the labor demands. What is the current labor demands and what can be the future labor requirements? We need to understand that too. Number three is assessing the labor supply. So what kind of labor I am giving to an organization as a human resource worker, is that enough or I need more people, more qualified people or more skilled people to work for my organization? I need to understand that too. Number four is bridging gaps in labor. I need to find the gaps in the labor. That is, where is I need to identify gaps and work accordingly. Number five is implementation planning. When I am working towards a particular goal, I need to make my employees ready for that. And therefore, I need to prepare them, take useful actions, and let them work for that so that I could achieve my goal. Oversight and evaluation. It means that we need to assess that my employees are working properly so that we could actually focus that where that the skills I have hired for, are they working properly or they lack somewhere, so that I could improve them accordingly. Achha. Next slide, please, sir. Okay, now is the importance of human resource planning. The importance of human resource planning is they provide a base for developing talents, and the leadership skill development and succession planning. So this part of leadership skill development and succession planning means that when I am assigning a particular job role to a person, I am giving them a leadership skill too. I am providing them a leadership skill too. They need to work, people need to work as a leader in that particular post so that they could work for the department as well as they could work for the organization. So I need to see that the leadership skill within the employee is developing, and succession planning. This term leadership and succession planning goes, you can say, is kind of simultaneous. Why? Because when the leadership skill will develop in a new employee, when the leadership skill will develop while they are working for an organization for a certain period of time, then only they can succeed to, means they can act as a successor, you can say, for the other. If a person gets retired, I can put him or her in that particular uh, job role, you can say, so that if the leadership skill doesn't develop properly, we can't we can't make that person put on to that particular role. So that I need to make my employee develop professionally as well as, you can say, individually, so that they could actually work for my organization in the future also. Number three is creating involvement of the top management in human resource management. As in principles of management, we know that there are three levels of management. First is top level, middle level, and lower level. So top level specifically refers to the managers who are working, that the CEO and the CFO, they are belonging to the top level. So, and then the middle level managers means who are actively working for a specific department, and the lower levels managers who are just, you can say that they are working for a particular department so that they are contributing to the specific goal. Now, here we can say that creating involvement of top management in human resource management, that is, when a human resource department is working for an organization, we need to involve the top level management too, because they know about the strategies and the tactics, what they are thinking about an organization's future. So if I don't interact, if me being a human resource executive or me being a human resource manager, if I don't interact with them, it will create a lot of problems. It can create a lot of problems for the organization, for my company. So I need to focus that there is a considerable involvement. There is a great means considerable involvement of the top level management in the human resource management or human resource planning. So these are basically the importance of human resource planning, that what is, how important it is. That first it has to provide a base for developing talents, then the leadership skill development and succession planning. Next is to create an involvement of the top management in human resource management. Okay, so sir, can we move to the next slide, please? Oh, I guess I have slide number 12 too. So this is 13. Ah, okay, okay. No, no, it's okay, sir. Slide number 13. Hmm. Okay, so next is what are the key functions of human resource management? The key function is first is recruitment. Recruitment is searching for the right candidates for the specific job roles, hiring the specific job roles, hiring the job based on organization's requirements. So recruitment is a process, you can say it is a function of the human resource management. Next is selection. Selection is a huge process, means after we are calling the candidates, we need to select them accordingly. So the we need to take interviews, we need to identify the we need to check the background of the particular employee. We need to check for references that how well the person is as an individual as well as a professional. So selection involves a lot of techniques, as well as the selection is a total process which involves a which is actually a screening process to select the right candidates. Next is training and development. Training and development means to enhance a worker's knowledge throughout their work period so that they remain consistently motivated and give the best for the organization. So training process can be in various types. Nowadays, people go for internships, students go for internships as they are doing a course so that they can gain appropriate skills, what is needed for the industry. Each and every course nowadays is having an internship attached with the syllabus, you can say, so that the student can gain particular skills which are needed for him or her to work in a particular field. Next is maintaining good employee relations and preparing a work culture. Maintaining good employee relations and preparing a work culture is very much important. If we don't motivate the employees, as well as if we don't give them a time management is actually very much important. We need to give employee a proper time that they so that they could work for the organization, as well as they could work correctly for the organization's goal. So we need to create a work culture that is best for the people too, as well as for the organization. Next is compliance with the labor laws. There are specific kinds of labor laws. What is some of them are Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act, the Workmen Compensation Act. So these are some of the labor laws which are specifically improvised, or you can say which are specifically formularized for the labor, so that they could work, and so that a proper right can be given to each and every employee, and employees do not feel isolated. So that complying with the labor laws, means following the labor laws, is very much important, which is one of the main function of human resource management department. Next is succession planning. So succession planning is, as we discussed, the succession planning is one of that part in which you need to select that who is the right successor for a particular job role. You need to search for that particular person, so that when a person gets retired from your organization, you can actually means put them to that particular job role so that they could perform. Next is performance management. Performance management involves various techniques, means to manage up and an employee's performance, we need to focus on that how they are improving, what they did previously when they first came to our organization. There are various techniques like performance appraisal is there, means appraisal is of various techniques. There are various techniques of performance appraisal. We need to take their feedback too, that how they are feeling working for an working in the organization, what new things could be implemented. So when we need to regularly or arrange, you can say we need to regularly arrange various training programs for each and every department, so that we could easily evaluate, or and as well as we could make people engage in our, we could make people work or remain engaged in our organization. Next is strategic human resource management. Strategic human resource management means that it is something that focuses on managing people in such a way that optimizes the business goals and objectives. Means first is that you need to set clear expectations for your towards you need to, as a as a organization's head. First of all, we need to set clear expectations with our employee, that what I am expecting from you as an employee. Next is we need to invite constructive feedback from my employees too, that how I can improve as well as how they can improve. There is a two-way communication in that, exists in that. Next is we need to conduct performance appraisals in each and every moment, I mean every year, so that we could actually understand that how an employee is improving. We need to guide through various strategies to improve our performance. We need to guide through various strategies that how an employee could improve his or her performance. So this is specifically the strategic human resource management that focuses on that how the people are working or towards a business goal and objectives. So as we discussed, there are 8 key functions of human resource management. Now, coming to the very last slide, so next slide, please. Conclusion, we can say that human resource are a major source of competitive advantage. That is, they can make the organization or break the organization, which is very true that human resource are something that they can act as an opportunity as well as a threat too. So you never know that when you are analyzing the external opportunities and threats, there can be internal threat too or internal opportunity too. So we need to focus on human resource in such a way. Next is successful organizations performance depends on a close fit between business and human resources strategy. So the human resource department needs to work in such a way that their work always focuses on the or always aligns on the business goal, business strategies, and that could optimize the organization's performance as the year passes. That will be the successful implementation of human resources strategy by a human resource department. Last but not the least, a strong human resource department can help to create within people a good business acumen. When our human resource department is working well, so that people can also focus that what is the ability and how we could actually you can say that how we could actually understand business and how what to improve and how to improve so that the business could achieve the its desired target. So that's all for the day. Sir, any questions are there?
No, ma'am. There is. I hope there is no question after your detailed explanation. So thank you so
Okay.
much for your lucid explanation and the way you have discussed how human resource management works, why it is needed, and how it has transformed over the years. I hope students will develop their basic concept on human resource management from this lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for bearing time with us out of your busy schedule. Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank
your
you so much, sir.
valuable contribution. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. So we are ending today's session. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. I'm leaving. Huh.
Okay, ma'am.